Call the meeting to order. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Good evening, everybody. May I get a approval of the minutes of meetings held on August 28th and September 6th, please?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Any persons wishing to address the board, Bev? Nope. All right, can I get an approval for the agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. Dan, good news report.
You are probably all familiar with a long list of so-called holidays that are celebrated every month. For example, September is National Honey Month. It's also National Trucker Month. So to all honey producers, Todd Tolke calling you out, and to all truckers who keep our nation's food supply running, we say thank you, of course. Further, September is also National Attendance Awareness Month, as it is here in the Sioux Falls School District as well. We decided to call September Attendance Awareness Month to remind students and parents about the importance of being in school on time every day. And as you all know, we've placed great emphasis on school attendance. This is the second year in a row now featuring an attendance campaign. We have some great public service announcements that are running on our local television stations. We have some posters in key locations throughout the district. A My Voice column by Dr. Maher appeared in the Argus Leader on August 25th. The superintendent's column for this month in all school newsletters focuses on attendance as well. This year we're also having an attendance council, and that group will tackle the issue. And for the first time, we opened up a poster contest regarding attendance awareness. We worked with our partners in the Kids Inc. summer program to spread the word, and we encourage students to share their ideas and their talents through artwork. So criteria for judging included 50% on the attendance message, 30% on visual effectiveness, 10% on originality, and 10% on universal appeal. And I will show you real quick our winner. This artwork was done by an 11-year-old Oscar Howe Elementary student. We received several excellent submissions, upwards of about 50, but this was our winning entry. It was done by Caden Muller. His winning submission then has been made into a poster that will be hung around the school district as a reminder to everyone that missing school is missing out. Caden is with us this evening. Caden, you want to come up here? He's not much of a talker, so I said he didn't have to do a speech or anything along that line. But his original artwork will go back to him, in addition to some posters that we will supply him for his family. And also, who doesn't love Dairy Queen? So Caden also gets a gift card to Dairy Queen for his work and helping us share that the attendance message is very important and missing school is missing out. So Caden, thank you so much for doing that for us, and I hope you enjoy your ice cream.
Thank you, Caden. I love the message. I think it's perfect for our schools and can't wait to see the posters hanging up. So congratulations.
Might have a future in advertising. That's very catchy. It's very easy to remember. I think people will see that and say that in their minds to themselves. So very nice job.
Okay, thanks, Deanne. All right. Any conflicts of interest? Okay. Can I get an approval of the consent agenda, please?
So move.
Second.
And any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. And motion to approve the supplemental consent agenda, item A, claims to Sanford.
So moved. Second.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, and that passes with 2 abstentions, Board Member Ryder and Board Member Mickelson. All right, on to the reports of the superintendent.
Okay, we have 2 reports tonight. The first report is the initial enrollment report, and I'll emphasize initial because this isn't the official enrollment report. But here to give us that report tonight is Michael Christofferson.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to provide you the latest student enrollment numbers for the Sioux Falls School District. Historically, these numbers for the report have always been based on the student's FTE, or full-time equivalent, at the end of the first week of school. In staying consistent, these numbers were generated based on the enrollment as of last Friday, September 8th. We continue to see growth in enrollment numbers this year as a district. First, I would like to take a look at K through 5th grade. We have slightly decreased by 49 students for a total of 11,745 students, which is a 0.4% decrease from last year. In the middle schools, we are up 4.7% compared to this time last year, with an additional 261 students, giving us a total of 5,505 students in 6th through 8th grade. Finally, the 9th through 12th student enrollment is up an additional 117 students from last year at this same time, for a total of 6,781 students. That's a 1.7% increase over last year. Therefore, our initial K-12 enrollment number as of last Friday net gained 329 students and overcame the 24,000 mark at 24,031 students in K through 12, which is up 1.37% over last year. The early child Head Start student count also continues to rise, with an increase of increase of 54 students, providing us with a total of 1,154 students for a 4.7% increase over last year. The summative total of early child Head Start, in combination with our K-12 enrolled, surpassed the 25,000 student mark at 25,185 students. Lastly, I'd like to give you a quick visual representation here of our initial K-12 total enrollment over the past 5 years. Again, this is always the initial based on that last Friday, the Friday after the first week of school. The percentages you see on the graph are based on an increased percentage over the previous year's numbers. As you can see, we continue steady growth as a district and are excited about the opportunities and challenges that growth brings. I would ask the board to acknowledge the initial student enrollment report and welcome any questions that you may have.
Is the 6th grade class unusually large, or is that one of the reasons that middle school number rose so much, or?
It's kind of across the board, but 6th grade is rather large. If you look at the numbers clear down to about 3rd grade, we see a little higher than average, closer to that 2,000 per grade level.
So that's kind of our core big number group, is that
Yep.
3rd to 6th grade?
But even last year in 6th through 8th grade, we increased 4.2% last year. This year, 4.7%. So we're seeing pretty big classes in that middle school level.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Michael? No? Pretty cut and dry, but
Yep.
good news to see the district grow, and hard to believe that we're now past that 25,000 mark. I think when I was first on the board, we were about 21,000, so it's amazing to see that growth over the years, so thank you, Michael.
Yep, thank you.
One more question, and you may not have it with you, but that's fine. I was just curious, do we track year over year open enrollment numbers and how that compares? Do we have any trends that you know off the top of your head?
Correct. Usually we give that the next one based on our actual last of Friday of September count.
Okay.
We'll kind of give you a more in-depth. Plus this year, we hope to give you a visual. That we're working with the state of South Dakota actually to see if any students are open and rolling out more geographically. That was asked last year of where those are placed. So
Good,
hopefully
thank
give you
you.
a better representation.
Sure.
Anything else? All right, can I get a motion to approve the initial enrollment report?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Report.
Okay, the second report is the 2017-18 District Priorities, Goals, and Strategies Report. The report comes to you tonight from a familiar face, but usually that face was on this side of this table. It comes to you from our new Director of Research, Innovation, and Accountability, Doug Morrison.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Maher. My pleasure to stand up here and present to you guys this evening, really, the 2017-18 District Priorities, Goals, and Strategies Report. Every year at this time, we come forward and really give you an outline of what we're going to be working on over the next course of the year as a district. It's really been through a collaborative effort across the district that has brought these strategies together, and I think you saw from the handout that was provided before that's very lengthy, and there's a lot of great things that are going on in the district. I'm going to try to summarize some of those for you. So it's really, as I look at it, it starts with the strategic plan, which you all had a part in putting together and is a living, breathing document. And then we moved from the strategic plan and set some goals as a district. So there's about 44 of them, 23 external, 21 internal, and starting with September 19th is when the school report cards will become available publicly from the state. We've been kind of looking at that data and making sure it's correct over the course of the last few weeks here, but you should be receiving a report very shortly on how we did as a district, and that will match up against a lot of the goals that we set for the district. And so this is really a presentation of the strategies and initiatives that will help us to achieve those goals that we have outlined. And they're really divided into the same categories as a strategic plan: student outcomes, district staff, school climate and culture, community engagement, and then the support functions of the fiscal accountability and system management, and then facilities. So, technology willing here, I'm going to move into priority area 1, which is student outcomes. And really the way I've organized this is put it into general steps, the same steps that we've outlined in the strategic plan, and then just call out a couple of the strategies, the larger ones that are sitting underneath that. So, very high on our list is the development of individualized plans to support students at risk of not graduating. And we continue to having each high school monitor their students at risk of not graduating. So if you think about that, it's really preparing each child to succeed in our district, and to move that graduation mark 1%, we've got to get 15 more kids to graduate. And each kid has a different set of circumstances. And so every principal, every vice principal, the whole school, high school teams are out there looking at each individual kid and trying to move the needle and trying to get what they need to be able to graduate. And then the second item there, just refining and articulating the support model. So we have many support models out there depending on the situation of the kid. We hope to start in 9th grade, make sure they can get their 5 credits. But then there's all kinds of different pathways. If they fall short of that and they start to show at-risk behavior, we're quick to try to develop a plan for them. So it may be different at a certain school. It may be the freshman academy, and then we have all the way up through our through Joe Foss, it might be, and then all our alternative programs out there where we're trying to educate kids. It might be Flex, Structured Teach, those types of programs. Really trying to, move the needle and make sure that every kid graduates. Another high priority for us is the implementation of any strategies around struggling readers. So we talk a lot about third grade reading scores. So this school year, we're going to be really conducting another academic return on investment analysis, where we're going to be looking at trying to come up with the right blend of programs that can move that third grade, those third grade reading scores. So we're going to be looking at our LIA program in conjunction with Imagine Learning, and also Lexicor 5, which is another sort of software program that works, that students work within. We'll be continuing to look at the, implement and evaluate the K through 12 English language curriculum. And then we also have the grant from the state where we'll be using the Imagine Learning grant in 4 elementary schools, which will also come back in conjunction with the first item I talked on there. So really the key is to try to move those third grade reading scores. We've got about this, you'll see the next Smarter Balance results, but we've got, roughly 125 kids that are just within 10 or 15 points of moving to proficiency. And so we feel pretty good about that. And so we just need to move them just a little bit. And so hopefully through some of these blended interventions, we'll be able to move them. The next item that we've been running, we just completed our second year of Summer Climb. So you'll be receiving a school board report here in the next month or so on what we see as far as results from Summer Climb, but that's something we continue to be, hold great promise in, and look forward to good results on that. The second item there, building district capacity for data-driven decision-making. I think there's a lot of things that go under there. We generate a lot of data in this school. The school district, with 25,000 kids, the amount of measuring we do, but the key is to how do we take that data and how do we make it and circle it back into our decisions as a district. So we continue to look at that. A couple things underneath that aren't on here, but rolling out the MAP process, which gives us the ability to look at reading scores 3 times a year, we think has great promise to be able to give our teachers data at their fingertips and in a real-time mode, then come and look at interventions on how to move those kids along, as well as the elevation program on the ELL side. So a couple of those things, we're looking to really take data and circle it back into our decision-making. Finally, with great anticipation, the launch of the computer science immersion this school year. As you're aware, we're implementing Code to the Future in 3 elementary schools, Annie Sullivan, Hayward, and Lowell. So we're anxious to get down the pathway on that. And then at the same time, we'll be looking at after we get through a year evaluating it and then looking at how to implement in the middle school. But something very exciting happening in our district this year. And then we'll be looking at some other pathways, global studies, world language, things that were put in. I think if you recall, especially at Rosa Parks back when we had the Spanish immersion program located there, we added some things to that school. And so it's time to relook at that to see if it's giving us the intended consequences or benefits that that when we started that. So we'll be looking at that. And then also exploring possibility of looking at any type of new tech scenarios into the middle school. We've had great success with that at the high school. So be looking at that to see if there's any applicability to the middle school area. Moving forward to the school climate and culture. One of the big things, initiatives that we keep working on, as Dion showed you the poster, is attendance. That continues to be top of mind, getting kids to school so they can learn. So we'll be implementing the district attendance council this next school year. We'll be looking at the truancy protocols, and then an exciting thing that we're just about to launch here is a pilot with a company called Kinvolved, which is an application which will allow us to get real-time information out to our parents, and so they can be fully and aware of when their kids are missing school. It's got multiple language capabilities. It gives the parent the ability to interact, and so we're excited about that. It's something that's had success in a New York City school environment, so we're looking forward to piloting that in 5 schools, 1 high school, middle school, and 3 elementary schools. So we're just in the process of getting started on that. Assistant Superintendent Nold has been working hard with the Juvenile Justice Consortium on looking at getting some sort of MOU established with them, and then looking at district-wide at the Boys Town model. And as you know, we've been working with that in some of our schools, so what do we want to do with that in the next phase? And then the last item, step there, evaluate and select a model for culturally responsive practices. So that's been something very important to the district, something Dr. Maher highlighted in our back to school session, all staff session. And so we're looking at the best way to gather feedback and to really make our district as culturally as responsive as we can. So. Also under climate, looking at the evaluating the success coordinator position. And the last item there is safety is always something that's very important to us. So we're looking at reviewing the safety protocols around our staff that travel from place to place and in homes. So something else we're looking at. Moving to priority area 3, which is district staff. We are got a lot of different things going on there. So we're looking at developing and implementing a teacher internship program and trying to create a pathway to eventually create the diversity of teachers in our district. So we've had some things going on there that this last school year, and we continue to look to ways to enhance that. Looking at our evaluation system, and then, as always, obtaining feedback from our staff. So through the Gallup survey, and then just listening to the staff as we did with on the K through 5 level on their instructional day and what it looks like at the elementary school, and then looking at some integration leader, the model we had there, and is that something that can be enhanced or changed? And then finally, the bottom there, develop the strategies to increase teacher retention, always something we're looking to do. So looking to review the implementation of the state-run mentor program that's out there. Then the final priority area, community engagement. We continue to develop strategies around gathering feedback from our stakeholders, whether that's allowing them to ask questions on the website, conduct surveys, focus groups, town hall meetings, all those types of things. Anything we can do to gather feedback from our stakeholders. Equipping staff with the knowledge and tools to support and participate in district initiatives. So I've been doing some work there on creating website tutorials on where to find information and how to use it, so our teachers and staff can become more versed in that. And then, of course, the other item that's been highlighted is engaging the community in the dialogue about enrollment trends, which we just saw. more growth and how that's going to present itself as far as facilities. So I think all those steps there you've seen have been outlined before, but the key is to engage the community in the dialogue, be open to, what they're thinking and thoughts and views are, and then also educating them on what our needs are from a sheer numbers perspective, and then trying to take all that and involve, into a long-term planning discussion, and then moving into an implementation stage at some point. But the key is to foster the communication and collaboration from the community. And the final areas there are really the support functions, but they're very important. Obviously, we're spending a lot of money on technology, so continue to review the effectiveness of the one-to-one pilots and one-to-one initiative, and then the iPads at the K through 12 level, and then starting to work on our 2018 through 21 technology plan. So those are very important. And then I wanted to highlight the last two items because they're items that are important to the district, and they require a lot of time and energy from our district as opposed to the time that they spend in the classroom and doing their normal jobs. But we have a state accreditation visit, which will probably happen after the first of the year, but they come in and look at a lot of different things that happen across the district. Could be, do we have immunization records? Do we have everything documented? It's a wide swath of things that they look at from a district standpoint, but that all requires staff time, leadership on our part to help get through that. And then finally, we have a special education program review, which is another huge project that's going to impact our special education administrators, staff, looking through files. We've got a lot of new special education teachers out there. That's going to be their first indoctrination into this. And so, again, a lot of blocking and tackling, but, we can't not do those things. And we pride ourselves on being able to pass those. And so we'll be working diligently on trying to organize those, dialogue with the state on the most efficient way to do that, and hoping that we can make it as least disruption as possible, but yet get through what we need to do. So that's really a lot going on, as you can tell, across the district. Many initiatives going on. Most of you are familiar with them. Some new ones, exciting ones that are happening, and some exciting ones that are launching this fall that we're anxious to get started on. So I will stand by for questions.
Any questions for Doug?
Well, not so much questions as comments. And I know that in our enrollment report, the good news is that we went up 300 and plus students, over 24,000 K-12, over 25,000 pre-K-12. And those are big numbers, and that's certainly something to celebrate. But in what I felt good about that, but what I felt even better about was in your report, you talk about increasing our graduation rate by 1% means that we need to get 15 more kids across that line. And we talk about multiple pathways, we talk about what we do here, and it is one student at a time. That's the goal. And, I was just taking notes as you were going through the kids that are close to succeeding, that are just a few points away from being successful. There's concentration on that. The summer climb program, which takes a lot of young kids that would be at risk of not being successful, and gives them that extra boost. There's so much that is being done to meet the needs of each one of the students. It's a huge task, and it's great work that's being done. these are the things that are, to me, the most important in what we do. There's going to be a ton of conversation over the next year or so about buildings, and we need that to be able to provide the education to our students. But I know, after having been on this board for a long time, that the discussion on the building projects is going to be much more public. It's going to be out there in the news, and there's going to be more awareness. But there is so much work that gets done by our 3,500 plus employees every day. That, to me, is what makes our school district as successful as it is. So thank you for the report. Good first report. For a newbie, thank you.
Maybe now he'll get an actual nameplate.
Yeah, Deb's got me on probation, so I just had a paper nameplate, so.
Thank you. And I think what I was most excited about as well in this report is that, making sure we're engaging our community and parents and our kids and all of our plans, because we can tell them what to do, but if they're not engaged and on board with all of us, it's not going to be successful. And we as a board and our school district, we just need to continue to do that. And with Dr. Maher, we've really improved, I think, that relationship, and I hope to continue that.
Yeah, I really think the parents, they play such a vital role, as we all know. If it's the little extra reading time to get those 122 kids, that are within 10 or 15 points over the reading hump, or the 1,200 kids that we have within 2 days of making the attendance benchmark, right? So it's just creating that focus and that message, and hopefully get us over the, some of those indicators to keep moving up.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? All right, thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the district goals and strategies, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, anything else for good of the order? Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn, please? Moved. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.